County Galway's scariest places. County Galway, with its sweeping landscapes, ancient history, and rich cultural heritage, is a place where the line between the past and the present often feels blurred. Beneath the beauty of its rolling hills and tranquil lakes lies a darker side, one filled with ghostly apparitions, unexplained phenomena, and spirits that refuse to rest. In this collection of stories, we explore some of Galway's most haunted locations, where history and the supernatural collide. From eerie lakes to haunted woods, these tales reveal a world where the echoes of the past still linger, waiting to be discovered. The Lady in the Lake, Lough Cutra Castle. Lough Cutra Castle, located near Gort in County Galway, is a striking Gothic revival castle that overlooks the serene waters of Lough Cutra. Built in the early 19th century, the castle's beauty and charm hide a darker, more chilling secret. The lake that surrounds the castle is said to be haunted by the ghost of a mysterious woman, known locally as their Lady in the Lake. According to legend, the Lady in the Lake was once a young woman who lived in the area centuries ago. She was engaged to be married to a nobleman, but tragedy struck when she was accused of witchcraft by jealous rivals. Fearing for her life, she fled to the shores of Lough Cutra, where she met a tragic end. Some say she was drowned in the lake by those who accused her, while others believe she took her own life in despair. Regardless of the cause, her restless spirit is said to have haunted the waters of Lough Cutra ever since. Visitors and locals alike have reported sightings of the Lady in the Lake, often on misty evenings when the air is still and the lake's surface is like glass. She is typically described as a pale, ethereal figure dressed in a long white gown, standing at the water's edge or floating just above the surface. Witnesses say she appears to be in a state of sorrow, her eyes cast downward as if mourning her lost life. One of the most famous encounters with the Lady in the Lake occurred in the late 19th century, when a group of guests staying at the castle claimed to have seen her ghostly figure hovering above the lake at dawn. As they watched from a distance, the figure slowly disappeared into the mist, leaving them in shock. The story spread quickly, cementing the legend of the Lady in the Lake in local folklore. Another chilling tale comes from a fisherman who regularly fished on Lough Cutra. One evening, as he was preparing to cast his line, he noticed a woman standing at the shore, her back turned to him. Assuming she was a local, he paid little attention until he realized she was eerily still. When he called out to her, the figure vanished before his eyes, leaving only ripples in the water where she had stood. Despite its haunted reputation, Lough Cutra Castle remains a popular destination for visitors, who come to admire its beauty and learn about its storied past. For those brave enough to visit the lake at dusk, the ghostly presence of the Lady in the Lake adds a haunting allure to the already mysterious landscape. While the Lady in the Lake has never been known to cause harm, her presence is a reminder of the tragic history that surrounds Lough Cutra. The serenity of the lake is often contrasted by the eerie, supernatural aura that envelops it at night. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, those who visit Lough Cutra Castle often leave with an unsettling feeling that they were not alone. The tragic spirits of Leenane Hotel. Located on the shores of Killary Harbour, Leenane Hotel is a charming establishment with a stunning backdrop of mountains and the Atlantic fjord. Though it remains a popular destination for tourists seeking relaxation in Connemara, the hotel carries a darker reputation, known to locals for its numerous ghostly encounters and tragic past. Built in the 18th century, Leenane Hotel has hosted countless guests over the centuries. However, its history is not without tragedy. One of the most enduring stories involves a young woman who stayed at the hotel in the early 1900s. She had travelled to the remote village of Lenain with her family in hopes of recovering from a long illness. Sadly, the isolation and her condition weighed heavily on her, and one evening, she was found dead in her room, having taken her own life. Since that fateful night, guests and staff at the hotel have reported strange occurrences, particularly in the room where the woman stayed. Guests have complained of waking up to the sound of soft sobbing coming from the corner of the room, only to find no one there. Others have felt sudden chills, even on warm nights, as though an invisible presence had passed through the room. Some have even claimed to see the shadowy figure of a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes standing by the window, staring out at the harbour as if waiting for someone who will never return. But the young woman isn't the only spirit believed to haunt Leenane Hotel. Another ghost, a man said to have drowned in Killary Harbour, is often seen wandering the halls late at night. The story goes that he was a fisherman who drowned during a storm after setting out on the harbour against better judgment. His body was recovered near the hotel, and his spirit is said to linger in the area. Guests and staff alike have heard the sound of wet footsteps padding across the floor, even when the hotel is empty. Others have seen a figure wearing a fisherman's coat and hat walking toward the door, only for him to disappear before their eyes. One of the eeriest accounts comes from a guest who stayed at the hotel in the 1980s. Late one evening, she heard what she thought were footsteps outside her door. Assuming it was another guest, she paid no attention until the footsteps stopped abruptly. When she opened the door to check, she found nothing but a cold draft rushing into the hallway. Later, she discovered that no other guests were staying on her floor that night. Leenane Hotel may be known for its hospitality and breathtaking views, but for those who stay overnight, it also offers an unsettling glimpse into the paranormal. The spirits that linger here seem tied to the tragedies that have unfolded within its walls and around its picturesque surroundings. Whether it's the young woman's grief-stricken apparition or the wet footsteps of the drowned fisherman, the ghosts of Leenane Hotel continue to make their presence known to those brave enough to visit. Guests come for the beauty of Connemara but leave with tales of ghostly encounters that stay with them long after they depart. The Eerie Spectres of Galway City Museum. Situated near the famous Spanish Arch, the Galway City Museum is a popular destination for history enthusiasts and tourists alike. The museum, which showcases the rich history and culture of Galway, is housed in a modern building, but it sits on a site with a history that dates back centuries. Beneath its polished exhibits lies a darker, more chilling side of the building, one that's haunted by spirits from the past. Long before it became a museum, this location was home to medieval structures and, more ominously, a 19th-century jail. The site was once part of the Galway garrison, and the area surrounding the museum was used for public executions. Over the years, numerous reports of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings have led many to believe that the spirits of those who suffered here long ago still linger in the museum's halls. One of the most frequently reported paranormal events is the sighting of a shadowy figure believed to be the ghost of a former prisoner. This figure, described as tall and gaunt, has been seen by both visitors and staff, wandering through the museum's lower levels, where many of the jail's original foundations still exist. The apparition appears to be in distress, as if reliving the torment of his time in captivity. Some visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness or dread in certain parts of the museum, particularly near the areas that align with where the jail once stood. One particularly eerie tale comes from a security guard who was locking up the museum late one evening. As he made his rounds, he heard faint, muffled voices coming from the basement area, which was closed to the public at the time. Thinking it was a group of tourists who had gotten lost, he went to investigate, but found the area completely empty. The voices, however, persisted, growing louder as he approached. After thoroughly searching the basement and finding no one, the guard quickly left, unnerved by the unexplained sounds. Another chilling story involves the ghost of a young woman who is said to appear near the Spanish Arch, just outside the museum. According to local legend, she was executed during the medieval period for a crime she did not commit. Her spirit is believed to linger near the museum's site, where she was hanged. Visitors have reported seeing a spectral figure in old-fashioned clothing standing near the Spanish Arch, staring out at the river. When approached, she vanishes without a trace. The museum also houses a collection of old artifacts, some of which are believed to carry residual energy from their past owners. Items like ancient weapons, historical documents, and pieces of furniture from long-gone eras have all been linked to unexplained occurrences. Museum staff have reported seeing objects move on their own, hearing footsteps in empty rooms, and even witnessing lights flickering for no apparent reason. For paranormal enthusiasts, Galway City Museum offers more than just a glimpse into the region's history. It offers a chance to encounter the spirits of those who lived and died in Galway centuries ago. While the museum is a hub of culture and learning during the day, when the doors close and the lights dim, it becomes a place where the past comes alive in a far more unsettling way. The ghosts of Mallow Castle. Standing in ruins on the banks of the River Corrib, just outside of Galway City, Mallow Castle is one of the most atmospheric and haunted sites in County Galway. The castle, once a grand manor house belonging to the Blake family, has a tragic past that has given rise to numerous ghost stories and paranormal sightings over the years. Built in the 16th century, Mallow Castle was the residence of the powerful Blake family for generations. However, in 1910, a devastating fire consumed the castle, reducing it to ruins and forever altering its place in local history. The fire claimed the life of Eleanor Blake, the only daughter of Sir Valentine Blake and Lady Blake, who lived at the castle at the time. Despite the best efforts to rescue her, Eleanor's body was never recovered from the flames, and it is believed that her spirit now haunts the ruins of Mallow Castle. Visitors to the castle often speak of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings in the area. The most commonly reported apparition is that of a young woman dressed in white, wandering through the overgrown ruins. She is believed to be Eleanor Blake, her spirit forever tied to the place where she perished. Many who have seen her describe a sorrowful expression on her face, as though she is still searching for a way to escape the tragic fate that befell her. In addition to sightings of Eleanor, strange sounds and unexplained phenomena have been reported at Mallow Castle. On quiet nights, locals have heard the faint sound of a woman crying, echoing from the castle's crumbling walls. Some visitors have even claimed to hear the distant crackle of fire, as though the ghostly flames that consumed the castle are still burning in the spirit world. One particularly eerie story involves a group of local students who decided to explore the castle at night. As they wandered through the ruins with their flashlights, they noticed a strange figure standing near one of the castle's crumbled towers. Thinking it was a fellow explorer, they called out, but the figure did not respond. As they approached, the figure seemed to dissolve into the mist, leaving the group shaken and convinced they had encountered the ghost of Eleanor. But Eleanor is not the only spirit said to haunt Mallow Castle. Some believe that other members of the Blake family also remain tied to the ruins, perhaps lingering to protect their ancestral home from complete decay. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures moving through the trees surrounding the castle, as well as strange lights that flicker in the windows of the ruined structure late at night. Despite the eerie atmosphere, Mallow Castle remains a popular destination for locals and tourists alike, who are drawn to its haunting beauty and tragic history. Whether exploring the castle ruins during the day or visiting at night in hopes of a ghostly encounter, Mallow Castle continues to fascinate those interested in both history and the paranormal. For those who dare to visit after dark, the question remains, is Eleanor Blake still wandering the grounds of Mallow Castle, searching for peace in the place where her life was tragically cut short? Many believe she is, and her ghostly presence adds a layer of mystery to one of Galway's most haunted sites. The haunted woods of Coole Park. Coole Park, located just south of Gort in County Galway, is a tranquil nature reserve known for its stunning landscapes and deep connections to Irish literature. The estate was once the home of Lady Augusta Gregory, a co-founder of the Abbey Theatre and a close friend of literary giants such as W.B. Yeats. While Coole Park is cherished for its literary and natural history, locals have long whispered of strange occurrences within its woods, events that suggest the park is also home to ghostly apparitions. One of the most persistent legends surrounding Coole Park involves the spirit of Lady Gregory herself. After her death in 1932, many believe that Lady Gregory never truly left her beloved estate. Visitors to the park have reported seeing her ghostly figure walking along the trails, particularly near the famous autograph tree, where Yeats, Shaw, and many other literary figures carved their initials. She is often described as a gentle presence, dressed in Edwardian-era clothing, watching over the landscape she once loved. People have claimed to see her standing silently by the tree, her form fading away when approached, leaving only the rustle of leaves behind. But not all of the hauntings in Coole Park are as peaceful as Lady Gregory's. The woods surrounding the estate are said to be home to more unsettling apparitions. Over the years, several visitors have reported encountering shadowy figures deep within the forested areas of the park. These dark shapes, often seen at twilight, move swiftly between the trees, disappearing as suddenly as they appear. Some hikers have described the feeling of being watched, with the hairs on the back of their necks standing on end, even though no one else is nearby. One of the most chilling tales comes from a park ranger who worked at Coole Park in the 1970s. While making his rounds one evening, he heard what he described as faint, eerie laughter coming from the woods. Thinking it was a group of visitors, he went to investigate, but found the area completely empty. As he turned to leave, he caught a glimpse of a figure darting between the trees. The figure appeared to be wearing old-fashioned clothing, and though he called out, there was no response. The laughter continued, growing more distant, until it finally faded away. Another strange phenomenon in Coole Park involves their wishing well, a small, secluded spot where visitors have traditionally made wishes for good fortune. Over the years, many have claimed that strange lights have been seen hovering near the well after dark. These glowing orbs, often blue or green in color, have been reported by numerous visitors, leading some to believe that the spirits of those who once visited the well are still tied to the site, granting wishes or guarding it from those who venture too close. Coole Park's long history, combined with its literary significance, makes it a deeply atmospheric place. While the park draws thousands of visitors each year for its beauty and tranquility, those who stay until dusk often find the atmosphere shifts as the light fades. The ghosts of the past seem to come alive in the shadows of the woods, reminding visitors that Coole Park holds more than just memories, it holds secrets that may never be fully explained. For those who dare to explore the park after dark, the gentle spirit of Lady Gregory may be the least of their worries. The shadowy figures and strange lights are a reminder that Coole Park, while beautiful by day, has a haunted past that still lingers in the twilight hours. The haunted locations of County Galway are more than just places on a map, they are gateways to the past, where the tragedies and mysteries of history continue to unfold in the present. Whether it's the spirit of a heartbroken woman by the shore or the shadowy figures lurking in the woods, these haunted spots remind us that some stories never truly end. As you leave behind these tales of the supernatural, one question remains: are you brave enough to visit and experience the hauntings of County Galway for yourself?